Hey guys, what is going on? So I'm gonna stay true to myself and my videos and come on here, win or lose, to discuss what happened. So I'm gonna actually do something a little different today. So along with my notes, I'm going to read my Twitter posts throughout the game just to read you the emotions I tweet them in, and just so you can get a gist of the roller coaster of emotions on my part going through a game live. So this is kind of like my way of, instead of watching the game live with me, this is like a recap of how I experience a game live. So here we go. I'm just gonna read off my notes and then we'll just go on a tangent. We'll see how things go. All right, so Celtics talk, Boston Banner Bound. We lost this game 118-107. We lost by 11. So here's my list of excuses. Do I want to give people excuses? No, but are they excuses? Are they facts? I don't know what to tell you. This is how I feel. Heat had 5 days of rest. Celtics had a quick turnaround from a Game 7 battle with the Bucks. They played Sunday, had to fly to Miami, and then play Tuesday. So that in and of itself is a challenge, not to mention being down 2 starters. That's a huge disadvantage, huge challenge. I know that the Heat had a bunch of people listed as questionable. I believe the only person that didn't play was Kyle Lowry. Maybe one other person who's like a no-name bench player didn't play, but it is what it is. So we were down. Al Horford, honestly, prayers up to Al Horford. I'm honestly hoping and praying that it was just close contact and it isn't COVID. That in and of itself is just awful to have to go through. So I'm really praying that he is not sick. If he is, I hope he gets better. Your health and your life is more important than a basketball game. So prayers up to Al. I really hope that he has a quick turnaround if it is worst case scenario and he does indeed, in fact, have COVID. If that is the case, either way, whether he has COVID or whether it was a close contact, he might be out as well for game 2. So we're going to obviously stay monitoring that and see the updates for Al as we receive them. But again, prayers and thoughts go to him and his family. I really hope that he gets well soon if he is indeed sick. And then Marcus Smart, I guess he got hurt game 7. I didn't see it. Some people said he left in a boot. I was just so excited with the win that I wasn't paying attention to those small details. He indeed sprained his foot. I believe it's his left foot. He was questionable, and then game time decision, he was not available. I'm not sure if this is something that's going to be a lingering issue. I'm not sure if he's going to be out on Thursday as well. We just have to also, again, take the updates as we get them and play it by ear. Either way, it's next man up mentality. That's how it always goes. Injuries are inevitable. People being out are inevitable. You just got to roll with the punches. Not use those as excuses, but obviously those are facts and those are the situations that we are dealing with. So not ideal. But even with that, the Celtics came out firing. I think they had a 10-4 run to start off the game. They led the first 2 quarters. They ended the half up by 8. But yeah, I'm calling them hospital Celtics right now, missing 2 starters. We had to dip into a bench. It was a shorter bench. However, Ime only played 8 players. Not that he had many more than 8 to play in rotation. Nesmith had early minutes. Like I said, Celtics set the tone early but faded out in the 3rd quarter. They still battled, though. Grant Williams, wired up was everything, though. He was mic'd up during the game, having those listening sesh to what he was saying was epic and everything to me. He's also super funny. He talks a lot. He's like the boy version of me, to be honest. But he was becoming a really vocal leader on the bench. He was telling everybody no more excuses, stop complaining about things, keep your head in the game, don't stop playing our ball in our game. And that really just gave me hope. He had such a turnaround, from where he started to where he is now. He has become such a leader. He's very confident, and I really love to see that. And I love that he was stepping up and using his voice to try and uplift his team. But it was too little, too late. I wrote that Tatum had 21 points at the half, but he ended the game with 29, so he disappeared. He also had 7 turnovers. Just can't happen if you're supposed to be a superstar that you are. You need to lead this team and not be the cause of the downfall. And that's kind of, he had his hand in the downfall today. And it sucks because when you feel like the whole weight is on your shoulders, right? Like you have all this pressure and you have all these expectations to be like the face of the franchise. When you are dropping the ball as much as you are that you did in this game, it's really tough to dig yourself out of that hole. So not Tatum's night whatsoever. Largest lead that the Celtics had was 13. And like I said, that was in the first half. Heat had a lead of 12 in the third quarter early, but then it just went off the rails. At the end of the third quarter, the Celtics were down by 17. The Heat went on a 22-2 run. The Celtics were outscored 39-14 in the third quarter. They were ice cold. However, Nesmith had a chase down block that was such a good hustle play. It was so epic. I really just was jumping out of my seat with that one. Nesmith surprised me on that one. I'm glad we did not ship him out and kept that guy. Celtics were in the bonus with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but could not hit free throws, did not take advantage of that. However, their 20-point lead that the Heat had was cut to 7 in the fourth quarter. But like I said, too little, too late. Grant was playing with 5 fouls. All the shots were falling for the Heat down the stretch. Like I said, Brown came up big in the fourth quarter, but too little, too late. That's kind of the theme of this game. It's not really about how you start a game. It's how you finish one. They did not play a full 48. I wrote, I need better ball handles by Brown and Tatum. Too many turnovers, lack of dribbling skills, and sloppy with the handle. So I get frustrated because I don't know if they're moving too fast. I don't know what it is, but Brown just doesn't have good ball handles. He needs to really work on that in the offseason. And then Tatum, he gets it stripped, but he tries so hard to sell it that it was a foul or something rather than trying to recover or battle back or try and just hold on to the ball better. I don't know. It's just weird. It's getting really repetitive and annoying. That their ball handling is becoming a real issue. Second chance points are killing us. The fact that the Heat have so many opportunities to score. If you give them enough opportunities, they're going to put it in the basket. So don't like that. I'm going to publicly say that although I still agree with my statement that if you look between KD, Giannis, and Jimmy Butler, if you were to rank them, Jimmy Butler would be last. No question. On anybody's list. Hands down. But I will put some respect on Jimmy Butler's name because he came up big tonight, 41, 9, and 5. He is a postseason superstar. He does really well when the spotlight is on him. And I will say that he does earn my respect. He does get props. But if I'm looking at those 3 superstars, he's the last one that I'm worried about. And I'm still not worried, okay? It was not the best start to a road game, being the second seed, being the lower seed, having to start on the road on the Eastern Conference Finals, down 2 starters, going into Miami after just playing on Sunday. There's all these elements and factors as to why it was going to be tough for the Celtics to pull out a win today. And they did their very best at the beginning, right? And they just kind of fell apart in the third quarter. I don't know if we should eliminate third quarters altogether or don't leave when it turns halftime, just stay on the court. Just do drills. I don't know what to tell you, but the constant hating of third quarters and falling apart in that quarter is killing us. I don't know why. I don't know what happens. They need to not fall back to old habits. They need to keep the adjustments. They need to just, I don't know. I'm losing my hair over this. I'm itchy. I'm stressed out. Whatever. Butler was the whole team pretty much. Bam had 10. Vincent, who I don't even know who that is, has 17. Strauss, Another person who I'm like, I don't know who you are, had 11. Tyler Hero off the bench had 18. The team itself had 12 blocks, so their defense was pretty stellar. And obviously the Celtics at one point had the number one defense in the league, so I guess we're really seeing a battle of the defenses right here. Like I said, all of their shots were falling. Their threes were falling. It was very hard to contain and stop them from being, they just caught fire and stayed on fire. Ironic, obviously, they're the Heat. We get it. LOL. Tatum, like I said, 29 points, but 7 turnovers. Not great. Rob Will looked fantastic. 18 and 9. Just looked so good. He had some blocks, you know, like I said, Lob God block Party Williams. Glad he was back. We would have gotten our ass severely beat if he wasn't in the game. Brown had 24 and 10, a nice double-double, but like I said, too little, too late. A lot of those points coming in the fourth quarter, but it was just when the deficit was too large to overcome. And then we had fast PP Pritchard with 18 points off the bench. So let's deep dive into my Twitter sphere. So my first tweet of the night essentially was, pardon my French, but the French was needed here. No Smart or Al tonight. You got to be fucking kidding me. And then I wrote, loving the start to this game. Way to come out strong on the opponent's home court and set the tone, especially down 2 starters. These Celtics impress me more and more every day. And then I wrote, that wired up moment. Oh my effing God, I love this team. And then I wrote, that's my guy, Robert Time Lord Lob God Block Party Williams III. With a bunch of these emojis. Then I wrote, welcome to another edition of me screaming at my TV as if I'm at the game. Me to my neighbors. Sorry, not sorry. Then I wrote, love the effort by Pritchard. That was when he was trying to save the ball from going out of bounds. Like, he was just giving it his all, like, not stopping until he hears a whistle. I really appreciate those types of efforts. Just like that, I'll get to the tweet, but just like that chase down block by Nesmith, like, it was clearly a breakaway, and the dude had an easy layup, and Nesmith was like, not in my house, even though it's not his house, but you know what I'm saying. Got a nice block there, so I like effort like that. I need that to be more consistent. And then I retweeted, someone wrote, Rob is incredible, and I said, been saying this since day one. And then I wrote, and this is maybe where I jinxed it, so don't kill me. I wrote, if the Heat can't beat the hospital Celtics, it's time to hang it up. Probably shouldn't have tweeted that. Then I wrote, Grant loves to talk. Grant is me in boy form. Oh my God, I love him. Him wired up is everything. Screw the commentary. Give me this audio 24/7. And I've said that. I think that the NBA would make so much money if they had like a pay-per-view type channel where all we could hear is just like the chatter of the players. I think that would be amazing. I'd pay for that. And then I wrote, a game of runs, keep the faith. Second chance points are a killer for the C's. Ugh. Have a quicker first step and get the rebounds. And someone commented they're being lazy. And I said, I think lazy's too harsh of a word, especially in this instance, because they're down 2 starters. They had literally 1 day of rest. They had to travel to Miami. They just had a grueling 7-game series against the Bucks to win to even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I didn't want to call them lazy. I definitely think they were gassed. And the Heat were rested. They were healthy. They were rested. They were good to go, and they wanted it because they have their fans backing them up on their home court. This is game 1. They need to take advantage of the home court advantage and everything that comes with it, and they did. So they snapped out of it and woke up in the second half. Celtics fell asleep and fell real tired in the second half. So it was a tale of 2 halves. Then I wrote, Tice, baby. I would love to skip all 3 quarters altogether, personally. And then I wrote, oh, Lord, Grant can't contain Tatum's anger. So again, Tatum complaining, very upset. Grant was trying to calm him down. Grant's trying to be like the peacemaker, the word of reasoning. Tatum wasn't having it. He's like, get off me. Very upset. But it's Jimmy had 18 free throw attempts. Like, he was just getting a ton of calls. Tatum really didn't get many. So I think that's also his frustration. He feels like he should be getting the same calls. both ways as the other like elite players do. So I can understand why he's upset. But if you're wasting your time arguing about that, you're just making it harder on yourself because you're letting your team down because you're not playing defense on the other end and you're just digging a bigger hole for yourself. So less complaining, just play harder. You'll eventually get those calls. Just let it go. That's my advice there. Then I wrote, the most hustle of hustle plays I've ever seen. Neesmith, holy shit. Glad we kept that guy. So that was that hustle play I already talked to you about. Then I wrote, down 17, right where the Celtics want to be. Eye roll. Time for some overcoming of adversity to take place. Chip away, make adjustments, get it done. They didn't get it done. Spoiler alert. Grant being vocal on the bench. I effing love that. Tell them, Grant Curry. Tell them. And then I wrote, then this took a turn because I was, I've kind of seen enough at this point. I wrote, real talk, the Celtics are beating themselves. And then I got upset because Bam basically took out Rob's legs. And I wrote, I will absolutely lose my mind if Rob gets hurt again. I swear to God. And then I wrote, they are trying to kill my players out there. So it was a very physical game, as we knew it would be against the Heat. And then I wrote, 20-point lead, cut to 10. So you're saying there's a chance. Keep fighting. And then I wrote, hope that shot wakes Tatum up because Tatum hit a 3, but it did not wake Tatum up. And then I wrote, anything that could have gone wrong to start this series has gone wrong. WTF. Then I wrote, so the game was over at this point. I wrote, no excuses, though there are some. Moving on, do better, game 2, play a complete game, and you got this. So that's pretty much my key points, right? Like, they had so many things against them, and they were leading by half. So I think that the Heat took them lightly in the first half. I believe that they saw a worn-down Celtics team without 2 of their starters, and they just were like, all right, whatever, they're not a threat. And then when they were when the Heat were trailing at half at home as the higher seed for the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals, they were like, okay, we need to step it up or this is embarrassing. So that's when Jimmy Butler really, took matters into his own hands and closed out the game. So I am not worried. Obviously, if Al Horford and Smart do not return at all at any point in this series, then I do think that it will be the end of the Celtics season, just simply because we don't have depth on the bench. We don't really have a bench. So that would be the only reason why the Celtics would fail in this finals run. I'm praying to God that Smart can play game 2, and same thing with Al Horford. It's very tough when you don't have the players that you rely on to help you carry and win a game. I'm not super disappointed. I'm not super mad or upset. I honestly was pleasantly surprised by how well they started the game. The wheels just fell off. They were gassed. They were too tired. They didn't have the people there to help, take the minutes off of them and the pressure and the stress off of them. And you would think not having 2 guys shouldn't be that much of a stress, but it really is. Ime has been running that deep bench in that same rotation in those same 7 guys all year long. So when you take 2 of them out of the equation, it's very, very hard to replace them or, fill the void for those people and what they do and their impact on the game. It's a team sport and everyone had a role in it. And when you take 2 role players out of the mix, especially against the number 1 seeded team that has depth, and their shooting looked great and their defense looked great. So it's going to be another uphill battle. I originally said Celtics in 6 because I thought we were going to have Smart and Al Horford. I'm going to still stick to that prediction. But a lot of people, and myself included, are now kind of coming to the conclusion that it might go 7. And that's if we get our players back. So, for example, if we're out Smart and Al Horford for game 2 as well, but we get them back game 3, they could easily battle back. Do I think that they're going to win game 2? I think they can do it. I think Ime just needs to be on them a little bit harder. I think that, the leaders really need to be a leader. Tatum needs to step up. No offense to Grant Williams, but if he's the only one yelling and telling people, like, stay true to you and don't complain and do this and do that, then we have an issue. It shouldn't just be Grant saying that. It should be Smart. It should be Horford. Horford wasn't there. It should be Smart. It should be Tatum. It should be Brown. If Horford was there, I'm sure he would have said it. He obviously wasn't courtside, for health reasons. But obviously I want the leaders to lead. And, I want everyone to be on the same page. I'm kind of going off on a tangent now. But game 1, loved the first half, hated the second half. I think they can turn it around and get split in Miami. They have to. They should. But I'm not gonna sit here and say Miami is gonna do what they're supposed to do and get 2 wins at home like they're supposed to. But then that will just be a bigger challenge for the Celtics to overcome. But you know what? Anything is possible. And never say never. I've seen the craziest things from the Celtics team, and they can do anything they put their minds to. So let's keep our heads up. It wasn't a terrible loss. Like I said, they cut that 20-point lead down to 7. So they didn't quit. They had fight. Just don't dig that deep of a hole and you'll be fine. I get it. It's a game of runs. But you just need to capitalize. Like, Celtics were not hitting their free throws. They were not capitalizing on their turnovers. So, and also turn the ball over less. Handle the ball a little bit better. If that means slow down a little bit, slow the pace down so you can handle the ball better and have better dribble and control over the ball, do that. So yeah. Did the Celtics beat themselves? Maybe a little bit. Maybe it was a little bit of both. I think the Celtics got in their head and beat themselves in the second quarter. And then the Heat just kind of took over and they were playing really well, and the Celtics were playing with a lot of mistakes. So quick turnaround again. The Celtics play at Miami on Thursday for game 2 of round 3, aka the Eastern Conference Finals, against the 1-seeded Miami Heat. Let's pray for Marcus Smart's foot, ankle, whatever it is, and let's pray for Al Horford. Like I said, your health is more important than a basketball game. So take all the rest that you guys both need. We obviously want you here with us playing and battling with everybody, but if you aren't 100%, we want you to get to 100% and to feel better. So this has been Brie Marie D on Boston Bannerbound, IG, Twitter, and also YouTube, Celtics Corner. Please continue to like, follow, subscribe, comment, reach out. My Twitter family is amazing. They are on a mission to send me to all the remaining home games, and I really appreciate everyone. Kindness is contagious. Everyone is awesome. I really appreciate the support, the positivity. Hats off to the Heat. They played a good game. Jimmy Butler, like I said, you proved me wrong today. You do have that fight, and you did really well tonight. But out of those 3 people, KD and Giannis, who we already went through and beat, Jimmy Butler is 3rd on that list, and he is not as scary as KD and Giannis. So hopefully we can also take down the beast of Jimmy Butler, just like we took down Katie and Giannis. So fingers crossed, anything is possible, like I said. Celtics are no stranger to overcoming adversity and battling back and being the underdog. So we will just see how the rest of this series plays out. I'm sure I will do another recap either late night or whatever after games. Obviously 8:30 tip is great. I'm able to watch them all. Game 3 and 4, I will be in the building, so it might be a later recap, and then I will try and reconnect with my Celtics Corner people to do a live stream at some point. Yeah, really bad at ending videos. We already know the vibes. Go Celtics. Game 2. We're on to game 2. Put game 1 in your rear view. Let's move on. Make the adjustments. We got this. Go Celtics. Thank you.